Welcome to Too Fond of Books. My name is Janelle and this is Murder Mystery Monday. In these videos I recommend one backlist mystery from my collection, and today's recommendation is Blind Justice by Bruce Alexander. This is the first in his series, and I've read this whole series, and what I really liked was he took a real person, and that's one of his main characters in the book, and a really interesting point in history, and then it tells mysteries based around that. And that's one thing that I really enjoyed about this series. So the main character is Sir John Fielding, who was a real person, and him and his half-brother Henry Fielding created the Bow Street Runners. And I love that history and learning just a little bit more about that history through reading this series. Of course, the Bow Street Runners, the Metropolitan Police Force, grew out of the Bow Street Runners. And so I just love learning that little bit about history when I'm reading some fun mysteries. So the back says, in 1768, 13-year-old Jeremy Proctor arrived in London. The city streets, bustling with gamblers, prostitutes, and thieves, were certainly no place for a boy on his own, and trouble wasted no time in finding the lad. He was falsely charged with theft and arrested. Jeremy was saved only by the wisdom and compassion of Sir John Fielding. Fielding was a man of great reputation, and for good reason. He had founded the Bow Street Runners, a police force that had reduced nighttime crime in London. He was as just as any magistrate in England, and Sir John was universally renowned for his skills as a detective. Most impressively, he had accomplished all this without the sense of sight. But there was nothing lacking in his sense of justice, and after clearing Jeremy of the charges, Sir John and his new helper began a career of solving some of London's most wicked crimes. This was published in 1994. And here's from chapter 1, in which Sir John Fielding proves himself the most just of magistrates. Having often been asked to commit to print these memories of my association with the late Sir John Fielding, the celebrated magistrate of the Bow Street Court, I now set pen to paper for the first time, determined not merely to illuminate the feats of detection for which he is so justly renowned, but also to set forth these prodigious qualities of character that enabled him to accomplish them. He was indeed a man of remarkable powers. Although deprived of his sight, what most would deem the cardinal of the senses, Sir John nevertheless led an exemplary life. His professional achievements are, of course, well remembered. With his half-brother Henry, the late lamented romancer and jurist, he organized and commissioned that band of worthies known ever after as the Bow Street Runners. These thief-takers have functioned in London's constabulary and made safe even by night a city in which previously, as one of their severest critics declared, one was forced to travel even at noon as if one were going to battle. As magistrate, Sir John sat daily, judging in all fairness the poor wretches who were paraded before him, giving unto each the full measure of his keen intellect, questioning witness and accused with like impartiality. Finding cause, he would of course bind over for trial. Yet such was his nature that the mere accusation of a felony was never sufficient in itself to doom a man to an ordeal before the bench at Old Bailey. Unlike many of his fellow magistrates, he demanded evidence. He required direct witness of the eyes, valuing above all else what he himself could not have given. Should one appear before him and have the temerity to offer as truth what had been merely heard or supposed, that unworthy would immediately feel the sharp, quick lash of Sir John's tongue and be sent on his way forthwith. In truth, he discharged more prisoners than he sent on for trial. Never lenient, he was albeit exact, and he was particularly watchful, if indeed one may use so fanciful a conceit with regard to one who lacked the power of sight. Of those so-called independent thief-takers, masters of false witness and entrapment, who made it practice to deliver the innocent up as guilty. Of this sinister legacy from the days of the notorious Jonathan Wild, I myself had direct experience, for I, reader, truth to tell, first laid eyes upon the good Sir John when I found myself brought before the bench of the Bow Street Court as one accused of thieving. So today's recommendation is Blind Justice by Bruce Alexander. Let me know in the comment section if you've heard of this author or this series before. Does this time period interest you? Do you like to read mysteries that feature actual historical figures? Or do you prefer it if the author just invents a character for a specific time period? I would love to know that. And I will see you for another video soon. Bye.